Hello children, welcome back to our 8th social class. Children, today in history we are going to learn Mauryas. Mauryas name you may be heard. They are the first one who established first rule in India, or we can call them as they are the first ruler of India, and we can also say that they are the one who extended the territory of India. And now what we can see as India, entire India, it was a contribution of a Maurya along with other ruler who extended the territory of India. Okay, so now let's learn about Maurya. When we say Maurya, what name usually comes to our mind? That is none other than Ashoka, right children? But at the same time, we should not forget that the founder of a Mauryan Empire, the Mauryan Empire was Chandragupta Maurya. See children, he was the founder of a Mauryan Empire. Remember that Chandragupta Maurya, when the name between Guptas comes, you don't get confused with he is the founder of a Gupta Empire. Chandragupta Maurya, he was a founder of a Mauryan Empire. Okay. Chandragupta, founder of a Mauryan Empire, okay, and he was one who given strong foundation for the Mauryan Empire. Okay, before learning the Mauryan Empire, that how he was established the Mauryan dynasty, let's learn few of the sources that focused to study about Mauryan history. Is it clear? Now we are going to learn few of the sources which focused on the study of a Mauryan history. And to study the Mauryan history, what are the sources are available? We know the importance of a sources, isn't it children? That is why we had referred the topic called sources, because sources is a one which will help to study about the history of a particular period. As such, now we are going to learn Indica. Okay, Indica, whose work it was children? Indica, yes, it was a work of a Megasthenes. Megasthenes is a Greek ambassador, one who lived or stayed in a court of a Chandragupta. Okay, Greek ambassador Megasthenes, he was an ambassador, Greek ambassador, one who stayed in a Chandragupta period. Okay, he has written in his book Indica about the administration of a Mauryan Empire, social system, economic system, and the rule of a Chandragupta Maurya, that he was elaborately written on a Indica book. But unfortunately, the original book written by Megasthenes was lost, or it was misplaced, so that we cannot refer the original book of Megasthenes. Who cannot refer the original book? That we are the Indians. When we are collecting the sources regarding the Maurya's empire, we are not able to get it, the Megasthenes book. So that there are the other Greek writer. Okay, they had referred about Indica. Indica in the sense, suppose you see, now it is how in the sense I will tell you to write a note on Agra. Okay, especially when you visit the Agra, I will tell you, write a note on Agra according to your view. So that what you will do, you will start writing narration from your journey from Udupi to Agra, the experience. After that you will explain the beauty of Agra, then you will finally end up, isn't it children? So here also saying that first the Mauryan administration referred directly seen by the Megasthenes, and he wrote in his book Indica. Okay, later on whoever visited the Mauryan Empire, that time Chandragupta was not there ruling. Okay, he was succeeded by his grandson and all. Okay, so they felt that how the entire history of a Mauryan was before. Now we can see the present. Past we cannot see. So we have to study few books which was written by the writer of that time. So like that, when the original book was missing to the Indian historian, what they have done, they have referred the other Greek writer. They are started their writing on the basis of a indica, because that time for them the book was available. Now at present, to construct the history, Megasthenes book was unavailable to us. So on the basis of a other Greek historian, they mentioned about indica, Megasthenes indica book, even in their book. Okay, so on the basis of that, we are clear that the Megasthenes, he was an ambassador, Greek ambassador during the time of Chandragupta, and he has observed the administration, economic and the other work of a social life of a Mauryan period. So it was a one sources. Okay, then the second one is Arthashastra. What was Artha? Who wrote Arthashastra? Arthashastra was written by Kautilya. Who was Kautilya then? Kautilya was now known as a Chanakya or Vishnugupta. Okay. What was the history behind that? See, we know that the name of a Chanakya, Chanakya in the sense intellectual person, isn't it, children? Suppose now also if we see any person with lot of knowledge or some diplomatic skill, we refer him as a Chanakya. We will compare to a Chanakya, isn't it? So he wrote the book Arthashastra. On that basis, the administration was held during the time of a Chandragupta. Okay, and it was also assumed that he was a person who, Vishnugupta or Chanakya, he was a person one who helped the Chandragupta to ascend the throne of a Mauryan empire, or he is the one who helped Chandragupta to acquire the power or become the king of a Mauryan empire. And in the book of Kautilya, we can see the policies of administration, economic policy, and about the justice system was mentioned, and as per that the administration of a Mauryan kingdom has been held on. Then the next one is Mudra Rakshasa. Whose work it was? Mudra Rakshasa, Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshasa. So indica we can say as a foreign sources, as well as Arthashastra is a native sources. Along with this, another one is Mudra Rakshasa. Mudra Rakshasa of Vishakadatta, which was in a Sanskrit. It was a Sanskrit play. It has written about how Chandragupta was brought to power by Kautilya. It explained only about Chandragupta, how he was helped by Kautilya, and how Kautilya assisted Chandragupta to acquire the power. Only about that he has enacted, or he has written the play in Sanskrit language. So is it clear? Megasthenes' work, Kautilya's work, and Vishakadatta's work. Okay. Then Deepavamsham and Mahavamsham. These may not be heard. Deepavamsham and Mahavamsham. These are the work which was written by Ashoka himself. Okay. Ashoka himself wrote the work in Sri Lanka language. It was a Sri Lanka literature, and it shows the effort of Ashoka to spread Buddhism. Is it clear, children? So now what we are referring? We are referring as sources, available sources which focus on Mauryan empire. It not only we are not only referring about Chandragupta. Along with the Chandragupta, children, we are referring the sources which entirely focus on the history of a Mauryan empire. As a part of that, Deepavamsham and Mahavamsham are the two Sri Lankan literature written by Ashoka himself, which describe the effort of Ashoka to spread of Buddhism. Okay, then we know that there are the few Ashoka's inscription. Okay, inscription which also helped us to study about Mauryan Empire. We know that many inscriptions are engraved by Ashoka, which tells about Ashoka's Kalinga War and Ashoka's spread of Buddhism and his tolerance towards other religion also we can study. Okay, so these are the sources which is available to study the sources of a Mauryan Empire. Okay, now let's study about Chandragupta Maurya. These are the sources. Is it clear, children? Now, how did Chandragupta establish the kingdom as a Mauryan Empire? Mauryan Empire is a one powerful dynasty in India. Okay. Now, how did he establish the kingdom, children? That was Chandragupta Maurya. He fought with the last ruler of a Nanda dynasty. Okay, he fought with last ruler of a Nanda dynasty. After defeating the Nanda ruler, last Nanda ruler, he has become the king of Mauryan dynasty. Is it clear? Nanda ruler defeated by the Chandragupta, and after defeating Nanda ruler, he established the new dynasty called Mauryan dynasty. Okay, is it clear? With the help of a Kautilya, Kautilya never fought with Chandragupta Maurya. Is it clear, children? Kautilya never get into the field of a war field or the battlefield. He was only assisting the Chandragupta. He played the role of a teacher to the Chandragupta or the role of a guru to assist of a administration or the diplomacy of the war has been assisted by Kautilya to the Chandragupta Maurya. As per the assistance of Kautilya, Chandragupta defeated Nanda ruler and he established his own dynasty as a Mauryan Empire. Okay, that was the first step of a Chandragupta Maurya. Then later on when he became the king, what he has done next? He was next defeated Alexander Secular. Who was Alexander Secular? We know that we heard the Alexander name, right? Alexander had a huge dream of conquering the entire world. Okay, as a part of that, when we are referring the civilization, children, I told you that first he was conquering the territory. After that, he used to appoint one person to rule the territory, right? Like a part of that, Alexander was defeated few of the native Indian ruler, and he has left his one faithful emperor to rule those acquired territory. Okay, as a part of that, Alexander Secular, the name of a person, one who was ruling Punjab. He was Alexander Secular, not Alexander the First, one who defeated. He was a ruler appointed by the Alexander. Okay, his name was Alexander Secular. He was ruling northwest frontier of India, along up to Punjab. He was ruling India. That was Alexander Secular. What the Chandragupta has done? Chandragupta defeated these Alexander Secular. Okay, and by defeating Alexander Secular, he has captured entire northwest frontier of India. Okay, and Alexander Secular accepted the defeat from the Chandragupta Maurya. In return, he will give up the territory, not only of northwest Punjab, but also he give up now what we call Afghanistan, Balochistan, whatever territory now it was named, that Afghanistan, Balochistan were under the control of Alexander Secular, that he will give up to Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, and after that Afghanistan and Balochistan, it also become the part of India. Is it clear? That will also become the part of India. Okay, so Afghanistan, Balochistan, it become the part of India. And not only that, even Alexander Secular, he will give his daughter married to Chandragupta Maurya. So the Greek princess, Alexander Secular daughter, she was a Greek princess, one who become the princess of or one who become the wife of Chandragupta Maurya. Is it clear? That was a Chandragupta Maurya's achievement. Later on when he become old, Chandragupta, he as per the Jain tradition, he will give up his power to his son Bindusara. Is it clear? Chandragupta, he will hand over his power to Bindusara. He was the son of Chandragupta Maurya, and he will goes to Shravanabelagala along with Bhadrabahu. Along with Bhadrabahu, Chandragupta Maurya will move to Shravanabelagala, which was in Karnataka. Isn't it, children? So there he will follow the Jainism, and till his death he has followed the Sallekana Vrata, and there he died itself. So what do you mean by Sallekana? Sallekana is one of the ritual of a Jainist, means they will do the fasting till the death. In certain age they will follow, means to get the salvation. What do you mean by salvation? Mukti, moksha. To get the salvation, they will follow the fasting. Only they used to drink the water, and they used to leave their last breath. So after handovering his power to Bindusara, he moves to Shravanabelagala, and there he follow the Sallekana, and there he will take his last breath. That was about Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, after Chandragupta Maurya, his son Bindusara will come to a rule. Okay, see, Chandragupta Maurya. The next was Bindusara. Okay, after Bindusara, that was none other than Ashoka. Here in your textbook about Bindusara, they are not explained about much. So directly they have moved on to a Bindusara. So now we are going to refer about Bindusara. Okay, after Bindusara, power will comes to Bindusara. After Bindusara, the power will move to Ashoka. Okay, how did Ashoka has came into rule? He was very powerful and very strong and diplomatic king. And during the time of Bindusara, Ashoka worked as governor of Ujjaini, Takshashila. Is it clear? He worked as a governor of Ujjaini and Takshashila, and that was the work experience that the Ashoka has possessed. Later on to become independent rule after the death of his father. Listen carefully. To become an independent ruler after the death of his father Bindusara, he has killed his 99 brothers. Is it clear? He has killed his 99 brothers, and he become the sole emperor of a Mauryan dynasty. Is it clear? That was a war of succession. So we can say that it was nearly, we can say that was an internal war that he has waged with his 99 brother. After defeating, not only defeating, he has killed the 99 brother, and remaining one was he only, and he become the independent ruler. And in 269 BCE, he has become ruler of a Mauryan empire, and after becoming a king, after 8 years, he has led one war, and only one war, that was Kalinga war. Is it clear? See, he has become king in 269. Okay, and he, after becoming a king, after 8 years, he has led the war with Kalinga. Kalinga war, that was the last and the first war that he has led. Okay, how the war has become end of a Ashokan career as an emperor, how it has been ended. What does it mean? So we know that the Kalinga war, which was led by Ashoka, it was great remarkable history in Indian history. Okay, you may heard the name of a Kalinga. Maybe we don't know the exact reason or what were the consequences of a war, but obviously we are all sure about the Kalinga war. Why he has led the war, or what may be the reason? The reason is that the Kalinga ruler, remember, listen, that the Kalinga ruler, he was not ready to accept the power of Ashoka. Okay, he was not ready to accept the power of Ashoka. How, in a sense, we heard that he was killed his 99 brother and he has become the king. Okay, it was assumption that he was not, the power was not handed over by his father. Okay, see here, Chandragupta handed over power to Bindusara, but here we are not sure that Bindusara had handed over his power to Ashoka. It was not clear that Bindusara has handed over his power to Ashoka. By defeating his 99 brothers, he has become the king of a Maurya dynasty. So the ruler of Kalinga, he was not ready to accept the power of Ashoka. So immediately he didn't let the war. After becoming a king, he never or immediately led the war against Kalinga. He waited for 8 years, or we can see that he has given 8 years a chance to accept the power of Ashoka. But even after completing 8 years, they had not accepted the power of Kalinga. So finally, without any what we can say, without any clue or without any last chance, he led the war against Kalinga. Okay, and it was said that the nearly 1,50,000 people are used for Kalinga war. How much it was? It was 1,50,000 people were used in a Kalinga war, and it was estimately calculated that nearly 1 lakh of people were died and many were become refugees. What do you mean by refugees? Refugees means Nirashitaru. People will be left as no home, no wealth or no health also. So that vast destroy of a war make him feel sad. Okay. Though Ashoka won the war, he became the victorious, but the scene of a war melted the heart of Ashoka, because so many people, nearly 1 lakh people were died. That it was like something graveyard. Seeing the bloodshed of a war field, Ashoka decided that hereafter I will never let the war against anyone or anything. So from there onwards he has become the peace lover. So it was, we can say that the Kalinga war which changed the mind of Ashoka, and he became the follower of Buddhism. Is it clear? Where Chandragupta was a follower of Jainism. Okay. Here, as a kind of a peace loving, Ashoka adopted Buddhism. Okay. That is up to Ashoka. Okay. And how was Ashoka and Buddhism relation? Buddhism and Ashoka, what was the bonding between these two? The Kalinga war which turned the mind or the heart of Ashoka, so that he started to spread, or the rule of Buddhism, so that he started to spread love, affection, peace. Mainly he preached live and let live policy. He used to preach that you live and you better to leave other, don't disturb the living of other. And to spread the religion, he has especially to spread the Buddhism, he has appointed Dharma Mahamatras. Children, this is a 1 mark question. compulsory question that who were called as the Dharma Mahamatras. Dharma Mahamatras are the people who were appointed by Ashoka to preach Buddhism. Not only a Dharma Mahamatras, even he sent his children, 2 children, to Sri Lanka and other part of India for the sake of spread of Buddhism. Okay, and a person named Rakshita was sent to Banavasi, and another person by name Mahadeva was sent to Mahishamandala. Mahishamandala is a Mysore. Now at present we call it as a Mysore, mainly for the sake of a spread of Buddhism. Okay, that was up to Ashoka and about his Buddhism. Now let's move on to Ashoka inscription. What was the contribution of Ashokan inscription to the study of Indian history? We know that Ashoka was mainly known for the construction of inscription. Ashoka inscription was the first inscription that found all over the India, and Ashoka was considered as the father of inscription. Mainly in Ashokan inscription, we can see the title called Devanama Priya. Who was referred as a Devanama Priya? Devanama Priya is a title given by Ashoka to himself. Okay, to commemorate the victory or the spread of a religion, he never used his name as a Ashoka. In all his inscription, he has mentioned the name as a Devanama Priya. Devanama Priya itself, it referred to he was a Ashoka. Okay, that was a title earned by Ashoka. Then move on to the economic as well as the social condition of a Mauryan period. How was the economic condition? It was clearly told that when we are referring about economic condition, we are not only referring about Chandragupta period, as entire Mauryan empire we are referring. So here we can say that economic system was guided and assisted as per the Kautilya's Arthashastra. So we can say it is a best part of a guidance to a people. And we can see during the time of a Maurya, they had given lot of encouragement for the irrigation. For the sake of irrigation, they constructed many dams as well as a canal. As in memory, one of the governor of a Chandragupta Maurya called Pushyagupta, he has constructed dam. The dam has called as a Sudarshana Sarovara Dam. He was the governor of a Chandragupta, constructed Sudarshana Sarovara Dam in Junagadh of Gujarat for the sake of irrigation. Okay. Then later on we can say that the prisoner of a war, they are utilized as a agricultural farmer work. Instead of keeping them in a jail, the prisoner were utilized to work in a agricultural field to earn the income. Then also we can see the land tax was collected. They has to pay the 1/4 of their income. Okay, land tax was collected during the time of Maurya's period. That was out of their entire income. They used to pay 1/4 of their income as a land tax, and the officer named Samartha and Sandhidatta are the in charge of tax collection as well as the in charge of treasurer. Samartha and Sandhidatta, they are the tax collector as well as in charge of treasurer. Okay, and Kachu, the coin, silver coin. The silver coin was referred as a Kachu in Mauryan period. Children, that was about to economic system. Okay, and we can say in social system there is the existence of a Varna system. You know, there are the 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. As we learnt before, Brahmana and Kshatriya, they are the higher class of a society. They enjoy all the benefit in the society, whereas Shudras and Vaishya, they are the middle class of the Varna system. Especially the Shudras were used as a slave during the time of Mauryas. There is a evidence that during the time of Maurya people are used as slaves, and also that in administration it was told that the Kautilya's Arthashastra is one of the best example for the administrative reference. There we can see the construction of a road for the sake of transport as well as economic purpose, and the major cities like Takshashila, Ujjaini, Suvarnagiri, Girnar are the few of the administrative center we can see during the time of Ashoka Maurya's period. Okay, and there are the official like Rajuka and Yukta. They are the official one who assists the king in matter of administration. And last one in Mauryan Empire was art and architecture. Okay, we can see the contribution of a Mauryan period in art and architecture as a sign of a national emblem. We can see the national emblem which we adopted now. That is a contribution of Ashoka's pillar or stupa which was there in Saranath. There he has used four-headed lion emblem. That emblem we are present we used as a national emblem for the present. Okay children, that was of Ashoka's contribution to art and architecture. Along with that there are rock cut cave in Barbara Hill, and his son Ashoka's son himself Dasharatha has built more rock cut cave temple in Nargudi Hills. These are the few of the architectural example that we can see in Mauryan period. One is Saranatha Stupa and Barbara Hill rock cut cave. These are the construction of a Mauryan Empire, and as a structure we can see the inscription also available in Mauryan period. So children, in today's class we have seen the development of a Mauryan period, right? The founder of a Mauryan Empire, then how the Mauryan Empire has been developed and grow up in the hands of a Chandragupta, Bindusara as well as Ashoka, and Ashoka how he renounced the warrior life to peace-loving person because of the Kalinga war, and we learned administration, economic system, art and architecture also, right children? And in your textbook there is a map, Mauryan Empire is given. So you please refer the place which was located in the map. It will come for 1 mark question. Okay, you have to draw the Indian map and you may get to ask locate the places. So practice it. Okay. And also read the lesson, and if you found anywhere 1 mark question, underline and keep. I will meet you in the next class with another new topic children. Till then, study well and stay safe.